Continue. Second exception, moving items. It is sometimes permitted to do an act of preparation that involves merely moving something that from one location to another, when an items will be needed on the second day of Yom Tov, and waiting until the second day to procure it will create a burden or undue delay. One is permitted to move it to the necessary location on the first day. For example, if one realizes that the first day of Yom Tov that he has no wine over which to recite Kiddush that night, and it will be difficult to procure wine at night, he is permitted to get the wine during the day. Okay. Similarly, if food that is needed for the second night of Yom Tov is in the freezer, one may remove it from on the first day, so it will be defrost in the time of nighttime meal. Okay, so let's continue reading and then we're going to explain. However, there are several restrictions to this rule. Firstly, one must move the items early enough in the day that is not obvious that he's doing so for the use of next day. So here's the key point. Okay, and we're going to explain. There is the night. Secondly, one should transport the item in a different manner than usual. Finally, one may rely on this rule only in the first day of Yom Tov to get something that is needed for the second day. One may rely upon it on the second day to get something needed after Yom Tov. Okay. So let's explain this exception. So exception topic is moving items. So, and moving sometimes it's going to involve melacha. Melacha, what is melacha? Moving through the public domain, right? From private to public domain, from public to private domain. That's 100% melacha. Okay, so one more time. It is sometimes permitted to do act of preparation that involves merely moving something from one location to another. So meaning that you even though it's done during the day, it's for sure something that is needed for tonight. So tonight is the second day of Yom Tov, so for the next day, right? That's the intention, or for a weekday. So today is the last day of Yom Tov, and a person prepares does whatever the moment for a weekday. So continue. When the item will be needed for a second day of Yom Tov. So when we say second day, most likely it's tonight, right? It's when the second day starts. Second day of Yom Tov, and waiting until the second day to procure it will create a burden or undue delay. Okay, so the example that I would have, for example, somebody invited you for a second day of Pesach, right? Second night of Pesach for a Seder, and you want to bring your Haggadah, right? But you usually usually would pray in the same synagogue, right? And then go to that person's house. So of course it's you take your Haggadah with you. You're not going to go back to your house, then get Haggadah because it's nightfall, and then go to that person. It's going to undue burden. Everybody would need to wait for you. That's too much. So during this daytime, when you go to the mincha, you're allowed to bring your Haggadah with you to the synagogue, and then you pray mincha, you pray marif, and you can take with you to that person's house. So which is, of course, it would be like in some sense, like according to this, it's going to be preparation for the next day, but because it's a burden and due delay, so everybody would need to wait for you until you come. That's too much. I mean, of course, there are ways around. You have to prepare before they can, but let's say if you use this Haggadah in your house, let's say that's your favorite Haggadah, you use it for the first night of Pesach, and you want to take to somebody else's house second night. I mean, that's basically you have no choice. Okay. Okay. So one more time. So, and waiting until the second day to procure it will create burden or undue delay. One is permitted to move it to the necessary location on the first day, as we just explained. So I think this is a good example, but he gives another example. For example, if one realizes that the first day of Yom Tov, so meaning first day like in the morning or afternoon, he has no wine over which to recite Kiddush that night. Right? Of course, it's today, but let's say they finish all wine, they broke the bottles, whatever happened, doesn't matter. And it will be difficult to procure wine at night. He is permitted to get the wine during the day. Okay, so he is permitted to procure the wine during the day. Okay, so meaning first day for the night of meaning for the second day of Yom Tov. Similarly, food that is needed for the second night of Yom Tov is in the freezer. So maybe halachos in the freezer or something, or some I would say ready food, but it was frozen. So let's say if you take out in the morning, let's say in the morning, so I have like 8 hours, 9 hours to defrost it, and basically you can eat. There is no problem, right? So you might do that. So one may remove it on the first day. That it will be defrosted at the time of nighttime meal. Again, so you had no choice if you just take out of your freezer when you light the candle, so you can use it only in the morning. But that's not what you want. Okay, so it's like exception. Continue. However, there are several restrictions to this rule, and we have to pay attention to this restriction. First, one must remove the item early enough in the day that is not obvious that he is doing so for the next day. There is not. So when you do something like, for example, this defrosting, right, of your food. So if you do it in the morning, so maybe you want to eat it as a snack or something before the Yom Tov starts. So if you have 8-9 hours, so maybe in 7 hours it's going to defrost completely and to be in edible state. So there is no problem, right? Or same with wine. So of course you got your wine for Kiddush, but technically you can drink wine not only for Kiddush, but you can drink wine during the day, right? So meaning if you got it early enough, like in the afternoon or something, so there is no problem. But if you got it like 6 o'clock at night and you have a candle 7:30, so candlelight at 7:30, that's obvious that you're preparing for the next day. So it's first condition. Secondly, one should transport the item different manner than usual. So and we're going to see it depends on the item, different manner as usual. Okay, not in direct manner basically. Finally, so number 3, one should rely upon the rule only in the first day of Yom Tov to get something that is needed for the second day of Yom Tov. Meaning when it's one Yom Tov going to another. One may not rely on this rule a second day to get something needed for after Yom Tov. So after Yom Tov, it's like too much. So of course we said that this first day is like bigger holiness, second is lesser holiness, but still it's holiday. One is holiday and second is holiday. But for a weekday, that's a disrespect to the holidays. That's we should not do it. Okay. Any questions on what you said?
Rabbi?
Yes, go ahead, please.
So the way I see it is like there's a very thin line between doing something because it's absolutely necessary, like time-wise, and doing something in order to, in order to advance or do things in advance for the day after. So let's say, for example, if I need to take off the tablecloth, but not because I want to prepare the table for the next day, but because, there's like bugs or ants or something like that, would that count as something that is permitted?
Yes, it will be like, or even somebody spilled something on a tablecloth. So if it's it's disrespect for Yom Tov to have such a tablecloth, to have your dishes with chicken bones, fish bones, these like summer does not smell good. So you're allowed to take out and replace it. right? Because you do it in the honor of Yom Tov, not because you're preparing. So, but it must be your intention as well. But be careful. I said bugs. Be careful with the bugs. So we're not allowed to kill the bugs on Yom Tov. That's a different story. Not allowed to trap them, right? So try to shoo them away, basically. And that's actually very common now. The Sukkot is coming, and sometimes you have ants and flies and all of bees and I don't know what. They come into your sukkah, so be prepared. So we're trying to spray all the corners before the holiday, so they would not come. But like after some times, they would come anyway. Okay, very interesting. Okay, anything else? Yes, you're welcome.
Jordan put a question on the chat thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, Shalom Kadal, thank you for today's class. Question: sometimes during the hectic preparation for Yom Tov and Shabbos, we've forgotten to get the wine altogether. What should be done in such instances to replace the wine at the last minute?
Mm-hmm. So let's say, so if you have a good neighbors to borrow the wine, so you can do that. But if you don't have wine, so I would say it's not such an easy question. So it depends what day is it, like what meal is it. So if it's for example, if it's Friday night meal, right? So you can do it on bread, right? So you can do kiddush on bread. But if it's a daytime meal, so we're talking Yom Tov or Shabbos. So if it's daytime meal, it's better not to do it on bread, but it's better to do it on beverage. What is a beverage? They call Hamar Medina. Hamar Medina, beverage of the country. Whatever this country, whatever is like a respectful beverage of the country. In the States, for example, there is a beer, is respectful beverage, but it could be coffee as well. Some do it on a liquor, hard liquor. I don't like this idea. This it's from old countries of Europe when people were cold, like basically, but they're drinking liquor, like vodka or something, like brandy or something. But today in society, people should not do that, because first of all, they cannot drink that much, right? Liquor. So now you go into leniency, this leniency, that leniency, because like when in order to do kiddush like on a Friday night or on like a night of Yom Tov, so you have to drink certain amount, and this certain amount is minimum in grams. So if you know grams, so it's 86.6 cc, or in ounces it's 3.1 or 3.2 ounces. Right, so it's minimum. So it's proper to do more, but it's minimum amount, and you must drink like half of it. Right, so let's say 1.7 ounce, like grams, like 50 grams, let's say, just like the bigger part. So usually, like with this hard liquor, people cannot drink that much unless they like trained alcoholics. They can, but no normal person would not drink that much. Like without food, like just to drink. I mean, that's not normal. Right? It's hard. I don't know. I don't drink hard liquor. Sometimes I would try a little bit, and just from the smell, I get okay. I'm good for the next few years. You understand? So, but you can do on a beer, you can do on coffee, you can do on tea. All of these respectful beverages. You can do some even say you can do on milk. If you don't have anything else, there is no problem. So, for example, like so you can do on milk. And you can have meat like during the meal. There is no problem. Milk is respectful beverage, and you can do on some like even some people in the States, United States, they say you can do on Coca-Cola because it's so popular. Or you can do on orange juice, right? Also like respectful drink. So that's during the daytime meal. But at night, so you do it on wine, You don't have wine, you should have grape juice. You don't have a grape juice, so you do on bread. There is no problem. But you don't do on Hamar Medina. Okay. That's summary. Of course, there are more details, but that's a good summary, I think. Okay, what else?
So the exception here would be water, right?
Water, yes. Water is not. So Hamar Medina. So Hamar Medina is like a beverage of the country that it would be respectful to invite your neighbor, right? To the neighbor for your friend. So he said, okay, my friend, please stop by. I want to talk to you. Tell you the story. So please come, stop by a cup. We're going to have a cup of coffee, right? Or let's have some tea. Right, or you have like I have a special squeeze for you. This orange juice, fresh orange juice. Okay, that's normal. It's a respect. But stop by. We're going to have cup of water. Cup of water. You normal like nobody invites anybody like for a cup. It's like it's not that formal to drink a cup of water. You understand? Or like drink like hard liquor. Yeah, you can have. If you have nothing to do with your life, yeah, you would have this hard liquor. But that's it. Yeah, go ahead. What else?
Yeah, there's another question on the.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Terrence asking, Shalom Kudava, we are not allowed to rely on the moving items rules on the second day to get something that is needed after Yom Tov. What if the day after is Shabbos?
I think what is it? The day after Shabbos is it's a big day. That does not make a difference. Okay, it's a good question. It's Yom Tov Shabbos is exactly the same laws. And just so we know, just since we're on a topic, and sometimes I don't remember in this year I don't think we had it, but last year I think we have like a few times when we have Thursday, Friday, and we have Shabbos, so 3 days in a row. So in this case where we do Eruv Tafshilin, right? I think it's called Eruv Tafshilin. So there is a special procedure when you use two foods. One is cooked, one is baked. So baked is your bread, your matzah, whatever is baked. And one is cooked. We usually use egg, but you can do potatoes. You can do whatever you want, right? Two foods. And there is special procedure. And basically there is, you read special text in Siddur, and it says that that I start cooking for Shabbos before the Yom Tov starts. And with this mechanism, I'm planning on preparing cooking on the second day of Yom Tov for Shabbos. So it's not a new, not brand new activity, but just a continuation of whatever I started. So with this thing, you're actually allowed to cook on Yom Tov. Again, this exception, not exception, restriction. They call it restriction. So this restriction, so you have to start early enough. So if you want to cook on second day of Yom Tov for Shabbos, so you start at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. So it would be maybe like technically you have the whole day ahead of you. So technically you can eat today. And the second thing that this Erev Tavshilin also helps is actually that you can prepare your candles, right? So you can prepare your candles because on Shabbos you're not allowed to light the candles. You're not allowed to prepare the candles because candles are muktzah, light absolutely forbidden on Shabbos. Allowed on Yom Tov, forbidden on Shabbos. So that's why you must do this Erev. It's very important. So usually I think I'm trying to be careful to remind everyone before at least one or two times, but because it's very important. So at least, for example, if person I prepare for 3 days and it's proper, as we said before, it's proper to prepare, not obligatory, but it's proper to do that. But candles you cannot prepare before. I mean, technically you can if you have multiple candle holders. Technically you can prepare, but for us For simple people, we have the same set, so we can just reuse it. But you have to clean it, right? Which is muktzah on Shabbos, and put new candles. Yes, so it's a very good question. What I apologize. Could you read this question again? I just wanted to make sure that we completed.
Yeah, it was covered. It said
Covered. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it was covered. I will,
Okay.
I will too. Yeah.
So what else? Any other questions before I continue?